Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming The Rings of Power.
One pod to rule them all. One pod to find them. One pod to bring them all in the darkness.
Bind them.
That's the words.
RSS feeds bind them, Steve.
Yeah.
And this is season 2, episode 4. We do not yet know the title at the time of this recording. It has not yet premiered. We're going to talk about our overall thoughts about this episode. Just go around the table a little bit, see where we're at mentally, emotionally, maybe spiritually. And then we'll do a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap, and we'll finish it all off with our Tobeys, the finest moments in the South Farthing, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode, and as well as our second breakfast. Any kind of
breakfast.
lore, tids, and bits, behind-the-scenes info, anything like that we can glean.
What about 11sies?
Perhaps. I don't think they know about 11Z, Steve. And then one performance to rule them all, our favorite performance of the episode. Fam, how you feeling?
I dug it. Super dug it. We got Tom Bombadil. You know what I mean?
Tommy Bombi.
We knew that he was coming. We saw all the news articles ahead of time and did not disappoint. I was really hyped to see him. We also got some other fun things that we'll talk about when we get there. But I thought this episode was great. It introduced a bunch of stuff and it did a great job doing it. I had a great time.
Yeah, I think this is a really great episode. This episode actually, surprisingly, I was very emotional at a very certain point in the movie or the episode. We got
Gandalf
Tommy
taking a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh, he's in such a small little bucket.
He was feeling things.
Gan bath.
We got Tommy Bahami, Tom Bombadil.
Bomb.
And last week we talked about how, we were like, oh, the human plot line's so boring. Numenor, Isildur, all that stuff, whatever. I think this episode really took great strides in making both Arondir and Isildur more interesting for me specifically. And then this episode also does some great things. I mean, the whole show overall this season is doing great with making the minor villains have small little touches to them, like tiny little character touches that make them just a little like, ooh, I'm not used to having a little bit more depth in my Lord of the Rings villains, as it were.
Some little feelsies.
Some little like, ooh, like I'm interested to see what their whole deal is. And this episode just keeps going. And the season just keeps giving and giving and giving to people who are fans of Lord of the Rings. Like, we got some really great lore stuff we can geek out on, and I'm just excited to talk about some trees with you guys.
Damrod.
Damrod.
I also...
Oh, actually, sorry. Fun fact about Damrod.
Yeah?
You know who voices him?
No.
Benjamin Walker. Gil-galad. The same guy who plays Gil-galad
Really?
voices
No
Damrod.
shit.
Yeah. I just found that out doing research early this morning. I'm like, no shit. Good for him.
Double cast.
That's
I
awesome.
wonder how that works.
He has to get 2 paychecks?
Well, sure. I bet he does. But it's like, how does that come about? Like, yeah, we really need a Damrod. I could do it.
He's like very straight.
Yeah.
And
He's like in costume waiting for the scene to start.
I think I could do it.
And he just goes, whoa, Sauron. And they're like,
Oh my
we
God.
need that.
Damn, Rod.
I see it. I can see it's giving Damrod. I also really liked this episode. I text you guys at the end, though, because I had this funny experience because I was locked in. It kind of ends on an epic note, perhaps one of the best episode ends of the season thus far, of the 4 that we've seen. And it's like, oh, these are elven lands, that big epic battle. And then it's a star shines in our meeting, Lady Galadriel, but in like Elvish, it's fucking gangster as fuck.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to credits and it's this song. And I know it's a Tom Bombadil lyric. I assumed that it was like some poetry that Tolkien wrote, but in execution, the feeling is one of like sinister cliffhanger. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Elmo says
Tom Bombadil has been here a long time.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I was so aghast at that choice. And by the way, like, we've already seen more episodes and stuff this time. And there's another credit song that's like, and I'm like, that's what the fuck I wanted. Where was that? Like, you could sing about Lord of the Rings and not sound like a fucking Muppet.
Yeah, they tried to have
Led Zeppelin did it all the time.
They tried to have their Reigns of Castamere moment, and it didn't work.
You're just a Tommy Bahami hater, right?
The Misty Mountains. Yeah, we could do that. I could have done that.
God, the evil world.
Stepped away with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just can't get the rights to Zeppelin, you know?
I guess. I mean, yeah, they are pretty short on cash. But yeah, it was a great episode. I'm excited to dive into it. I think it's a huge upturn from episode 3. And we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. It starts off with Galadriel and Elrond heading to Eregion. She has been, given permission, but only if she doesn't lead the party. She's now a lieutenant instead of the commander of the Northern armies. And Elrond is just this, like, you know, he's being a little sassy. He's still upset. Things didn't go his way.
Oh, I thought she was being sassy to him.
They're both sassing it up, man.
I mean,
my notes here is like the stank she throws at him.
well, she's upset that she's not the leader of the thing she's always been the leader of.
Sure.
She's one of the greatest elven warriors, right? So I don't see, I know you're not saying this, but I want to pause here for a second. The toxic-ish, there's a perspective of the show that I had never considered because I don't live on forums or anything. You know what I mean? I just know that a lot of people hate the show because there's people of color elves and stuff. Sure. And then a lot of normal people don't like the show because they're huge fans of Tolkien's lore, and this doesn't follow it hardly at all because they don't have the rights to do that. They can, it's kind of fan fiction-y. They can just hint at that, right? But there's also this view of like, what I can say confidently to all of those people is Galadriel is the heart of the show. Morvis Clark is amazing, right? I thought I could say that confidently. And I got tons of comments like, oh, I fucking hate Galadriel. She's supposed to be this 4,000-year-old being, and she's just always emo and whining. And like, I don't want to just say misogyny, right? That's my instinct, but I don't want to just do that.
Yeah.
But have you guys heard of this whispering of like that she's just kind of a drag? And because I've always thought of it like it's obvious that she's this near divine being that lost her brother, and it's like against her, the nature of who she is as a species to be filled with hate, and yet she is, and that's the basis of her character.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what she becomes later in life is this kind of dark tinged elf, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see somebody feeling like she's a little one note. Like there hasn't been a lot of
happy Galaddy.
No, I wasn't going to say happy, but yeah, I mean, it would be nice if there was a little more like ebb and flow to her mood. She is, you know, she is who she is in every moment in every scene, as opposed to being super reactionary and playing into a given moment. I don't know. It's hard to describe. I mean, I don't think that the internet being the internet, of course, misogyny, you know, but I do think that there is something to be said about like the character could have some more nuance.
I would like to see her interact with like a peasant boy or something.
Sure.
A little bit of like
Theo,
get a cat, save a cat from a tree. Nah, anyone else.
We already had that.
Yeah. Just save a cat from a tree or something briefly, you know, give her something other than just Sauron.
I think that's a very fair criticism, because she is this character that's just like very focused on a goal, specifically in the last season, like gotta find Sauron. And now that's been upturned, like, oh, this guy that I thought was my friend, Halbrand.
He tricked me.
I've been deceived.
Gotta find him again.
Oh, I gotta find him again. So
I ain't giving no Loch Ness monster no tree fitting.
Goddamn Loch Ness monster.
I gave him $1. She gave him $1.
But I think that's a very fair point. But I mean, I too would like to see her in other scenarios where she can be slightly different, like, because I've seen Elrond like go through the gamut, but that's because they're putting Elrond with a much more diverse set of characters to interact with. Like, let's put Elrond with Celebrimbor, let's put him with Galadriel, let's put him with Durin. Mm-hmm. So he's got like a lot more of a diverse set of characters to interact with, whereas Galadriel really doesn't, in a way. Or if she is in the same room with these characters, it's very like, where's Sauron? We got to find him. It's not like, hey, let's hang. The only person she does that with is maybe Elrond, but those are two pretty like serious people.
I get it. I do see but at the same time, it's like, this is a person who has turned away on purpose from the gates of heaven.
Yeah.
And swam across an entire ocean. Like, she is not chill. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. She's very rigid and dogged.
So I never questioned it for that reason, you know?
Same.
She's not going to like stop off at the casino after turning away from the gates of heaven and swimming across an ocean.
Right.
I got a shit. You know, like, no, you're just,
I want to see that.
you're
scene.
just dogged, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so they're headed to a Region. It's interesting to note that it's 150 leagues. And for stuff that we'll see later, that kind of just stuck in my mind. We know exactly how far a Region is from Linden. And it's fun. I love that, like, there's this D&D campaign that's started. Like, Elrond immediately is like, we need an archer and 2 swordsmen. Okay. A fellowship, you might say.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah. So they journey out a little ways and they quickly find that one of the bridges on their path has been, and it's a large bridge.
The Oxa Bridge.
Yeah, I guess.
I have in my notes in just large font, question mark, is you see the bridge has been taken out. It's destroyed.
By lightning.
And everyone's like, lightning. And I was like, what?
I assume you can see like the burn marks or something. You know, he's a little bit of I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things. You're like, what?
And
Can lightning just do that? I've just been driving bridges on my whole life during storms and never even thought that was a new fear that it could be unlocked. That any moment lightning could just done.
well, Galadriel's like, nah, this is the work of Sauron, right? So they have 2 options. They have to turn north, which would add 2 weeks to their journey to skirt the bridge, or they could go south through the hills of Tur and Gleipglorp. Which
I was just
Gorthad?
reading my notes. I'm like, I don't know how to say.
which, as we all know, is not a good idea.
No.
And she gets
Did you like their little their MapQuest guy, the dude that they always turn to for directions?
yeah, he's the navigator.
Camneer?
Yeah. And she gets a vision from the ring that's like a horror vision. And she's like, there's evil in them there hills. And
We can't go into Gleipglorp.
no, we
The
can't
hollers are haunted.
we can't go to Turn Gleipglorp. We need to go north, even though it's going to add 2 weeks and we have to get to a Region quickly. It's the only way. And Elrond, at this point, let me put a flag there, but he says the company will not take counsel from that trinket. So we're going to go south, but it's almost bulbos. It's almost like there's some common expression that's escaping me at this moment, but what I'm trying to say is like he is so doggedly against being manipulated by the ring that he's making bad decisions sometimes just to not listen to the ring. Like when your enemy agrees with you, so you just change your mind. Like that's not good to be that rigid about it, right? Yeah. I understand what he's saying and thinking, but he's just so paranoid about anything being influenced by Sauron.
Sauron is in everyone's heads, whether he wants to agree
he's
or not.
living rent free.
Yeah, rent free.
He's basically the hawk to a girl. just everyone's thinking about him. It's a terrible metaphor.
I want to know what expression you were trying to think of.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Was it like a cut off your nose to spite your face?
Yeah,
kind of
some
thing?
kind of idiom. Yeah, some kind of idiom like that. That one works.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not calling you an idiom.
Yeah.
I think you're smart.
That's cool.
We cut to the stranger who's looking for his dead hobbit friends. Because remember, he threw
They're fucking dead, dude.
threw them with a tornado.
They got sucked up by a tornado.
Nori?
Are you over in
Bobby.
this patch of woods? No.
I'm sure you're fine. Wherever you're at.
Eventually we'll get there.
He finds a goat instead, and he's like, well, this will do. New friend.
Man, black goats are all the rage in fantasy shows now because we got a healthy dose of that in Hot D season 2.
Black Phillip.
Yeah.
And the wit and the Vivitch.
Beach.
He finds fucking Tommy Bombies. He's just over there hanging out.
Tommy Bahama.
Tommy Bahama.
Tom Bombadil. If you're not a huge Lord of the Rings nerd, he's a huge, we'll talk about it later in the second breakfast, I'm sure, but he's a huge character in Lord of the Rings. And he's one of the major things that was omitted from Peter Jackson's trilogy that everyone has always said, oh, it's just such a shame we didn't get Tom Bombadil. Now, anybody who's ever read a screenplay would be like, where the fuck would you put Tom fucking Bombadil? That is quite a hard right turn when you're reading the book. But still, it's just something cool everybody's always wanted to see. And here he is, Tommy Bombi. And I see you found a goat.
You found the goat.
Now,
This guy's name should be Frank because he's just such a frank dude.
No.
He's just always like, it's this.
I say it later in my notes somewhere, and I'm going to try so hard not to be annoying, but it's impossible for me. But at one point I realized the kind of wisdom that Tom Bombadil employs is very similar to like what I would think of a Forrest Gump type of, insight into the human condition.
There's what you're searching for and what you find in there.
Like there's
that kind of shit.
I'm not a smart man.
I'm looking for stars above a hill. There's stars above most hills. Like that's Tom.
Hey, doll, Mary doll.
It's that aw shucks type of wisdom.
And I love that shit.
Yeah.
The Southern charm thing works on me every time, which is why I like Forrest Gump. But halfway through watching Tom Bombadil, I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to ruin the podcast. Again, because he's a Forrest Gumping it hard right now. And Gandalf finds this fucking tree.
He's doing it again.
And what immediately might be the perfect stick. You know, he's like, oh, this is a stick I've been looking for.
This is a stick.
But the tree fights back, get off my stick, and sucks him in. Yep. Never thought I'd say that sentence. We cut to Nori, who somehow is alive. And
How?
And they landed next to each other.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
They're the same size and approximate weight. It's physics.
Yeah.
They're in the
Is that
same
the way it works?
They were
know.
holding hands, holding on to each other.
I mean, the centrifugal force is the same. That's all I'm saying. The kinetic energy was the same.
I don't know. I feel like if I throw two pebbles that weigh the same into a tornado, they're not going to land in the same spot. But we'll
I don't know. If you throw them at the exact same spot at the exact same time, I bet they would.
And
why wouldn't they?
If you throw two stones into a tornado, both stones will also be dead.
Well, we don't know how stout these Harfoots are. And then there's this whole like, where is he? Where's that? Never mind. Where is he? Where are we? That's a good one. But
I like how Poppy landed in the one patch of green grass in the whole desert.
Right.
And there's this awkward where she's kind of like, how do I get out of this bush?
that's how she's okay. But the trackers are nearby, so they jump off a fucking cliff. Oh my God.
They're going to get us.
They didn't even look. I was so shocked.
They could have like edited that falling sequence and just like repeated it a couple times so it feels like they fell down like a mile long hill.
They just turn into Chris Farley from Tommy Boy. Hold on, little branch.
Please hold on.
Little root. And then who the fuck is that dude? There's just another Harfoot down there. This fucking guy.
I was like, who is this living trolls doll? Merrimack, is that his name?
Nobody.
It's Mary Mac, but he goes by Nobody because that's what everybody calls him.
I'm nobody.
He doesn't know he's a Harfoot, right? He thinks he's a Stoor. We'll find out soon.
Poppy's like, oh, I love the Trolls movie.
Yeah.
Dang.
Poppy thinks he has Riz because Poppy's the main character of the Trolls movie. So that's probably why she likes him so much.
Did this scene just open up so much for you, Kit? Because as our resident Trolls franchise lover,
I'm an aficionado.
how many times have you seen Trolls?
Last
2?
year it was 37.
Was it Trolls or Trolls 2 that you
Trolls
saw?
1.
Trolls 1 37 times.
Yeah.
In a row?
That's right. And he's got stolen big folk water from the well, the trapped well. And so they're going to snitch on him if he doesn't show them where their village is. And he tells them about the Goond. You guys know about Goonin?
The Goond? This was so funny to me. I love this. It's like, before you meet the Goond, there are 4 rules to follow. 1, don't look her in the eye. B, stand 3 steps back. And 4, never call her the Goond. Was that 4? And Nori's like, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I don't listen to any of them fucking rules. Yeah, it's the dwell leader, right?
Yeah, the Goond is like the Sadak of this
Right.
clan.
But she doesn't
Of
like
the
to be called.
Stoor.
The Goond is apparently derogatory.
Yeah, what's the Goond?
I don't know what Goond is not good.
Andy, you
Hairy
looked
old
up,
bitch.
you looked up, was it Gaff?
Gand?
Gand.
You looked up Gand, look
Yeah.
up Goond.
Okay,
Don't
Is
do
there,
it.
I
Is
got
there
you
a
guys.
different, you're on a watch list now.
Goon.com. Don't go there.
Gooning.
Is she a gooner? Is that why? Is she gooning?
Yeah, look up Gooning, Andy. We don't know what a Goond is, but we do know that the Goond is the dwell leader of this village of Stoors, right? And that's when they find out that they're Stoors, not Harfoots. He was Stoors. And Poppy backsasses the Goond. She says, be nicer to him. She tries to defend Mary Mac.
Nobody.
And everybody's like, oh, shit. Did she backsass the Goond?
And then he's like, ooh, the 4th rule was backsass. No backsassing the Goons.
That's her. Oh, yeah. And then they start talking about the Dark Wizard, like you might work for them, right? You got to get the fuck out of here. You're not allowed here.
On the wall.
We don't talk to you motherfuckers, right?
Dude, they have a dope like hydroponics setup for all their plants. It's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that open for that shot when they first kind of get into that little Stoor village and the camera's kind of going up the hill and kind of going and traveling around and you can see the village. It gave me so much Dark Crystal, the TV show vibes.
Oh, were you so happy?
Good way. Yeah. Cause I'm pretty sure that camera shot's like it replaced all these real people with Muppets and you have the same style of shot. Like I love the Dark Crystal TV show. Go check it out on Netflix.
I love the next scene where that tracker, and he does have a name, it's Cauldron, I think, ends up going back to the Dark Wizard.
Oh, Bronk?
Who gets called Cauldron?
Cauldron's like the other dude, I think. The guy
his buddy, Bronk and Cauldron. Sure. Yeah. But remember last episode, they were talking to Eminem, who's like a really powerful witch. I'm sorry I failed. I couldn't do it. He's too powerful.
That's fine. I'll send these two normal dudes.
And this random guy is like, I've got an idea. I'll handle it. All right, you're talking to the fixer here. I just get shit done. Okay.
Clearly.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to get his little buddies that are short. He likes them, and I'll kidnap him. It's pretty simple, and he'll have to do what I say. What if he uses his magic to prevent the kidnapping? He's not going to do that.
He doesn't have a stick.
Ain't got no gand.
Cut to the very next episode. Yeah, it was a lot harder than I thought.
He fucked me up pretty good.
I'm not going to lie. He did use magic.
Dude sent a tornado at me.
It's so...
I think he killed his friends.
It's so...
I didn't expect him to shoot the hostages.
It'd be like, I come in, I pull my gun, he just throws a fucking grenade. You know? How could I have predicted that?
He's actually pretty badass.
I'm starting to fall in love with him.
We cannot let him get a stick.
No.
But anyway.
That wasn't even a good stick.
If you got another job needs doing, I'm down.
I'm here.
And he reports that he has gone off towards the hermit, right? Referring to Tom Bombadil. But also, we don't know where the Hoff is. They're probably dead. Don't worry, we're scouring the desert. And he's like, the Dark Wizard's like, the Harfoot is your job. I'll handle the East Star. You should have done that the first time, I'll be honest. If you were willing to leave.
What are we doing here?
And then we cut back to Tom and he's like, Tree, let him go.
Eat earth, dig deep, drink water, go to sleep.
Old man Ironwood.
Back in the Withy window, folk used to call me Bombadil.
Oh my God, that's so accurate.
It's crazy. They give Gandalf a Gand bath, and he hears a woman's voice, and one of his jars moves. But when he comes back in, Tom's like, "Oh no, there's no women here. I jerk off."
I'm just jerking off in there. Got to pick your moments when you got company over.
I thought I turned Bluetooth off.
He just immediately has to jerk off, and he spent the last 1,000 years alone. Oh, sorry. I do it every day around 2.
I've got a schedule to keep.
It's a secret to longevity.
Yeah, I love that when the stranger's like, "Hey, is there someone in here?" And he's like, "Well, you are." He's so frank.
Well, you're here, Lieutenant Dan. It's the same
You ain't
thing.
got no legs.
Exactly.
You ain't got no stick.
There's no woman, right? And he tells Tom Bombadil he was out looking for his friends. And I was trying to follow the stars. Well, that shows what stars know.
Stars are newcomers. They think they know everything.
This is my line. Oh no, he has Forrest Gump wisdom. Yeah, but he says, I am the eldest, right? And his yawn like blows the fireplace out and scares the fucking goat or whatever. And the tree is old ironwood, you know? It's like, oh, I just wanted that stick super bad. Well, why didn't you just ask it? A wizard staff's like a name. It's yours to wield already if you're worthy of it.
And you're not.
And they keep saying this about names, and it's again not how names work, right? Like somebody gives you that. So
yeah.
But anyway, And then that's when Gandalf, let's fucking be real. It's Gandalf was like, oh, I was meant to find you maybe, right?
Wasn't I?
No fucking shit.
We're not alone. They hear horses approaching, which are the trackers, right? Mm-hmm. And there's motherfuckers rolling up. And he says, you're not the first Eastar to eat honey by my fire. The Dark Wizard was here as well.
Mm-hmm. Now he controls much of Rune. And
if the stranger, I think it's worth asking, how did you not know that somebody calling themselves the Dark Wizard was trouble? In hindsight, pretty red flag.
Oh, I was just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I didn't. Someone chose that name for him. That's what I was going with. He
called himself Führer.
Oh man!
But the Dark Wizard wants to ally with Sauron, is what Tom's saying, right?
And if you get them two together in a room, oh my gosh, it's not good news for anybody.
That is strong gravy.
That is a recipe for some strong gravy.
Well, hey, you've been around here since the first star blinked into existence, since before the first drop of rain fell. Why didn't you stop the Dark Wizard or maybe stop Sauron? Oh, old Tom's a wanderer, not a warrior. You lazy old bitch. It upsets me.
I got to tend the lilies while there's still lilies to tend to.
I got to tend the lilies. I'm still looking for Jenny.
She was turned into a bird and flew far, far away.
Is it my task to stop the fire?
Your task to face them both.
Yeah, you got to do both.
Yeah, sorry. I ain't doing shit. I'm Tommy Bahama, and I'm going to go tend to my lilies. I'm going to drink
I jerk off in my shack.
Sex on the beach, and I'm going to jerk off in my shacks every day at 2 p.m.
And hang out with old Ironwood, if you know what I'm saying. And he kind of ribs him with his elbow. We cut to Elrond and his fellowship, and they're in the creepy woods now, and they stumble upon the Barrow Downs.
Barrow Down.
The elves are spooked, and there's a memory of a song. Whatever. They find some dead horses. These are Lindon horses.
I love this scene because this is the scene where it's like, okay, we're introducing to you 3 more characters. And so we have to make sure they call each other by name so you know who they are for reasons coming shortly in the end of this episode.
And yet I still don't.
This is Daemor. He's the worried one. This is Camnir. He knows stuff. This is Vorohil. He has no fear because dead men are no threat.
And yet, apparently they are. They realize that
I forgot those names as soon as you said them.
Yeah. Vorahir?
Vorahil,
Camnir,
and Daemor.
Camnir.
Yeah,
we got it.
Yep. Yeah, we good now.
Camnir knows stuff. Daemor is worried, and Vorahil has no fear.
Because they are dead men.
And they had to make sure we knew this about them.
And yet I didn't.
In this scene.
But these are Linden horses, which means that they were the messenger's horses. The messengers are dead. Ergo, vis-a-vis concordedly, the message never got to Eregion, right? That's not good. And the fucking chains come out. We were talking about the chains last time.
It's the chains.
Shit's off the chain now. Oh no, they got Carl. That was my note. That's how well the name thing worked.
No, that guy.
Which one was that?
Daemor.
I
got Daemor.
My note was literally, oh no, they got Carl. And then
Day no more.
We get the voices and the poem, and Skeleton Jack Sparrow pops out and he's like, you might want to start believing in ghost stories.
You're in one.
Yeah.
Cole.
And then they go Avengers mode with like Hawkeye and shit because the camera like
does that
rotates around
that Terry
him.
Bruckheimer 180.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jerry?
Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Sorry. I keep saying Terry.
I don't know if his cousin was the cinematographer. Maybe
Terry Bruckheimer.
And we're introduced to the Barrow Whites. Oh no, they're Barrow Whites. What happened?
Barrow down.
They try to kill them, but can't. They are impervious to our blades. And then Elrond wants to open the rock box. He's like, oh, come here.
I have an idea. Open the crypt.
We should rob them. And they're like, not now, Elrond. You dirty bastard.
No, it'll be cool. Trust me.
It's so funny. And then Galadriel gets grabbed by the chains after Carl died from the same thing. And Elrond saves her, tosses her a spear.
And what does he say?
Use this.
Well, why does he say that?
What do we say to the god of death?
According to lore,
yes, he does say that.
Only the blades which they were buried with can kill them. And as we all know on streaming things,
lore
that is better than data.
That's right.
Star Trek bitches.
So yeah, basically these were Barrow Whites. Whites is often used in Game of Thrones as well. They're like zombies. and they were awoken by quote unquote someone, Sauron.
I gotta be honest. This is my least favorite part of the episode.
The choreography was terrible. They're just like, how about you?
Yeah, they're just stabbing at things. But the thing that drove me nuts was just the whole like, oh, we can't kill them. Oh, don't worry, guys. I know how to kill them because I read books. We didn't tell you any of this information, but yeah, you still kill them with their own blades.
That happens a lot. Hermione does that. You know, there's always that guy.
But I never like it though.
You don't like Harry Potter?
You don't like Hermione?
What?
Who the fuck are you, Steve?
Oh God. Andy, sit down.
Andy, get out. Andy, sit down.
Andy, put the gun down.
Getting a little heated.
Not you.
Gun down.
Me.
No, he's going to sacrifice himself.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
Going to sacrifice himself.
Is that an actual unedited audio clip of it?
I think the pitch is shifted on it.
I was going to say, what?
Something sounded weird
I think
there.
someone's pitch shifted it.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
I get what you said. This whole scene should have been way cooler.
And just the way how they're fighting and like he's just like, well, according to lore, only the blade. Like it's just kind of like, okay.
But my problem, I'm fine with that. Honestly, my problem is that the Barrow Whites are just like, oh no, they're getting our spears. That'll hurt. Like, then just do something. Do ghosty thing. Fight.
They should have their weapons should have been broken, and they should have during the fight, that crypt that has the weapons gets busted open, and they get the swords out, and then they're like, oh my God, these work. You know?
That'd have been cool.
Yeah, but
why was Andy working on the show?
And I'm also curious about the semantics of it. Like, do I have to kill this specific person with this specific spear because it was their specific spear, or is it just any buried weapon underneath?
Fuck, that one didn't work. Give me the spear.
Throw me the sword.
Fuck, give me the other spear.
This guy looks like a morning star, dude. Do we have a morning star? That worked. Great.
He looks like Lucifer. Thank you, Steve.
Don't overthink it, Steve.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, it could have been better. Could have been better for sure. But we cut to Arondir and his folk looking for Theo, including Isildur. Theo! Oh no, he's gone. Oh well.
We've only been searching for 3 minutes. I know.
Which is basically what Arondir says. He is all
peace,
of us.
Right?
He's like, I'm sure he's fine. It's literally what he says. It's strange that the wild men left their axe. They fucking love axes, though. What's up with that?
And there's little leaves on it.
And he finds a branched up dead body. Damn, this guy got stabbed with 37 little sticks. That's weird.
That's wild.
Anyway, and then the guy from CSI Miami pops in and takes his shades off.
It's a prickly situation.
That's right. We cut to the people want to raid camps, right? Like find the rest of the wild men and get them out. We need Randy Savage and all of his ilk out of here.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what they call him? The wild man?
Macho Man.
Macho man. Who's the wild man or the wild one? Or
I don't know. I can't think.
It's not a wrestler?
Probably is, but I can't think of who it is.
If you can't
I like the idea.
I think of Rowdy. Rowdy Piper.
No, he rowdy. So we got rowdy and macho, but not wild.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them we got to find Macho Man Randy Savage is in those woods.
Cut to Theo in a cage.
You come into my woods.
We got you for 3 minutes, Theo.
Oh, yeah. Hulk Hogan, yeah. The cream of the crop rises to the top of the forest, yeah. And all the pukesters out there coming into my woods, yeah.
You done?
Elizabeth! All right, I'm done. Are you done? Let's get it out of his system.
They want to kill all the wild men. Isildur wants to find Theo, and Estrid says, you should go north. I used to hang out up there. There was this club. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I saw some wild men camps. And then Arondir's like, oh, really? A club? You were twerking? Yeah.
Was everybody in the club getting tipsy?
He's immediately suspicious of her. She's a terrible liar.
Bottle full of bub.
Mama, I got what you need. Come give me a hug. And Isildur fixes the aqueducts with Estrid. They have a little meet cute there and enjoy the water. And Arondir is still suspicious of all of the wild men, right? And he's like, hey, what's that mark on your neck? It's weird. And she's like, oh, I just slipped and burned it.
myself.
So fell asleep by the fire.
It's awful. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about it. It's crazy. I woke up. I was
there
on
something
fire.
there?
Yeah. Oops.
Does it look bad?
So I pick at myself a lot when I'm nervous, and I had a pimple back there, and I just kind of.
I went to town.
It was like 37.
Just made a meal of it.
But they're like, she hid the mark of Adar. Yeah, she's busted.
And then she throws a bucket at him.
Then
And
we
he
see-
kicks that fucker out of the air. It's so cool.
She's one of them.
she's one of them.
She's going to lead us to the others.
Yeah. So okay, I know you now. I know why you know where the camps are, because you used to live in them camps. In the next scene, Estrid is in chains on the trek, and I love that he only brought Isildur. Just me and you go with the three of us.
Everyone else sucked. Let's be honest.
We'll kill everyone in the camps.
It's probably everyone in the village is like, where are we going to find Theo?
The trio
Oh,
for
we'll stay
Theo.
back.
I'm busy.
I'm busy that day.
Theo was not taken by men at all. It was women. No. Keep up. And we cut to
There's this one wild line that I laughed at where Isildur is talking to Estrid and he's like, what was even your plan, girl? And she's like, would you have rather I died? And he's like, let me think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know. Maybe. No.
well,
And then he looks like he feels bad for saying it.
Yeah.
it's
Like
funny, but at the same time, it's like, imagine like
Dragons.
No.
There's no heaven.
I can't think of an approximation, but some kind of evil group of people in our current society takes over. Don't do it, Steve.
I'm not going to.
The Canadians.
Takes over.
Oh no, you're a Canadian.
Yeah, like if you
What's
found
this all about?
if you meet a new guy and he's like your best bro for a couple days, and you find a swastika on his arm, you're like, what the fuck? And he's like, well, I was hanging out in the woods and then a bunch of Nazis rolled by. I had to win in Rome, you know? Would you rather they had just killed me? And like, that's what I'm saying. Like in your mind, you're like, kinda. How long did you roll with them? You know what I mean? Like,
How many Siegs did you heil?
that was like, that's where his head's at right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's valid in a way for him to be like, ugh. But then we cut to Theo. He's in a fucking tree, in a fucking tree cage.
Branch prison.
Yeah. And they're all like, look at him. He's awake now. Aha.
Look, well fed's awake.
Yeah.
Well fed.
Yeah. Old chubby boy.
This reminded me of, do you remember the Steven Spielberg War of the Worlds movie?
Yes.
There's that scene where like
Yeah.
they pick up Tom Cruise and is it Dakota Fanning?
Yes.
Daughter, and they put them in the little cages that are on top of the tripods. Like it just reminded me of that. So I was getting like flashbacks of that movie.
It's actually, it holds up. It's
So the
good
Tim Robbins scene is incredible. Because he's being too loud.
He's being too loud.
I'm gonna have to hit him with the shovel. I don't want to do this. We cut to so they're being mean. They're bullying him, and I like how they still have the we got the upper hand because we're all friends. We can make fun of you.
yeah, we're still we still got the upper
It's
hand.
so
in this.
weird. They're still bullying him.
We're captured, but we're gonna pick on you still.
Yeah, you should all be upset and maybe quiet right now.
Well fed.
Arondir and his company are going through this blighted forest, and Estrid trips. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, watch your footing there. She's like, hey, let me out. I can walk better with my hands.
It's hard to walk when you're bound like that.
She's got a pretty good mobility, though. It's a little manipulative, you know?
You'll be fine.
And then all of a sudden, Isildur's in fucking quicksand.
I love how she does a little stumble and Arondir's like, come on, you idiot, don't trip. And then Arondir's like, or Isildur's like, ah, I'm dying.
You just hear him go, ah, and then it cuts to him like waist deep.
I love how he's like acting embarrassed, like, oh, I fell in a giant vat of mud.
God,
I hate it when this happens.
it's all. Look at me.
It's fine. Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Don't look
I'm
at me.
fine.
Don't look at me.
And
He sinks some more. I'm still fine.
stop moving. Right? Everybody knows the rules of quicksand.
Quicksand's terrifying
Yeah.
We all thought from the 90s that we would be
Yeah.
constantly assailed by quicksand.
because it was in every bit of media we consumed. Like, man, it's out there. Just waiting.
I know. But Arondir's trying to help him. He's like reaching over, grabs him. He doesn't let him go. He's such a soldier. He's such a good time boy.
He's sweet cheese.
A sweet cheese.
A rotten soldier.
Yeah. But no, they're both sucked in. And then Estrid.
I love how the Estrid just kind of looking like,
So this scene, I thought I knew how it was going to go, right?
she was going to run.
No. I was like, okay, this is proof that she's on the level because this is her opportunity. She could escape. And then they're going to make us think that that's what she's doing. She looks around, runs off, comes back with a stick. Dun, 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 right? But it doesn't seem to me like the stick did anything. Like Arondir was going to bust out anyway and flip out. And then he like kills the mud snake.
Well, I think we had our cake and ate it too. Like we still got the moment of Estrid being on the level, but also Arondir's like, no, I'm cool.
She's like, I got this stick. And you think he's going to pull slowly back out. This is the way they always happen, right? And then he comes out covered in mud with his sword drawn like, ha! There was a stick in my way, but I still made it. Ow! What if he came out with that stick sticking out of his neck? Why did you help?
Or he busts out and like kills her. Oh, you were standing too close to the snake monster.
There's a mud snake. This scene did not work for me super well, I'll be honest. Where the whole bit with like, there are creatures in this world that have no names. This one we shall call supper. And then Isildur being like, holy shit. Gangster shit.
I don't have the audience
What was on his sword? Was that its heart? Was it
just a little piece of
a
meat.
little piece of meat that he cleaved out.
It's like you could have gotten a lot more than that.
Yeah. What are the rest of us going to eat?
You're going to
bitch?
share.
This one I shall call supper. What you guys will eat, I do not know. Perhaps that stick or my ass. Wait, what? This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light and keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Knock, knock, who's there? It's the month of August. Oh my gosh, how are you here already? 2024 is going by way too fast, but you know what's not going to go by way too fast? Our thanks and appreciation for all of our Patreon supporters who keep the lights on for us over here at Streaming Things. And I want to give a special shout out to our super Patreon supporters for the month of August. So thank you to Bing Boom Bang Boom, Albus Stinkpot, Kit Laser Eat Me Out Like Vagar, Then I'll Ride You Like Allison. That is quite the name. Dylan Dunkley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Parmesan, Sunshine, Ashley Hazen, Just Liz Calabria, the Justice Lizard herself, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Lofpum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butthorn, Conrad, Jer Latanovich, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Linda Eklund, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, John Collins, Trisha Bueller, Sun Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jen Robinson, Kalisha Rees, Paula Garcia, Brenda Bren, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen V, Casey McCain, and Enza. Thank you all so much for helping us over here at Streaming Things, and let's get back to this episode.
We cut back to the goon. The goon to the stores is casting out Nori and Poppy. And she's like, oh, you're just like my friend Sadok Burrows.
Why did you say that name?
Sadok Martha Burrows. Then we get the myth of the caravan traveler. He was once a Stoor named Rorimas Burrows. And
They're looking for the Suzat.
The Suzat, some lady named Suzanne. And then we got that line in the last episode. Like, I think the Harfoots have been here before, maybe in the first episode or second episode even. But Nori says the Harfoots have been here, right? And this scene is touching, though, even though it's a little like silly lore. Because, obviously Sadok is the descendant of Roymos, and that's why their whole culture of the Harfoots is just a Stoor that traveled off to find this place. And
Never found it. Just kept wandering.
We just kept wandering.
We don't have a home.
We're homeless. But no, it's okay. We'll just leave.
We'll just go back to the desert and die.
I get it. No big deal.
No big deal.
And right at that moment, tumult ensues, and they go to check out what's going on. And big folk are coming this way.
Big folk coming.
The trackers arrive. Was it Bronk and Geralt?
Bronk and Hank and Jim.
And they strike the goon.
They smack the shit out of the goon.
They backhand the shit out of the goon.
They do. And then they help her up.
The Harfoots.
It's a weird little touch there, like just backhand, and they're like, all right, get up.
As long as you're not talking, that won't happen.
Stewards.
Where are the Harfoots, right? But she won't snitch. And
There's
then,
only stewards here.
and then the dude hits her with the, want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah.
My father was a mean drunk.
He was a dark wizard.
You'll find out soon enough.
Defy the dark wizard and you will find out yourself.
Back at, meanwhile, the elves. The elves are honoring the fallen. Just Carl was the only one who died.
Daymore.
He sucks. What was his name?
Daymore.
Yeah, Daymore. The old dead Daymore, that's what they call him.
Fighter of the Nightmare.
Fighter
Daymore.
of the Nightmare. Ah.
Galadriel believes the ring is guiding her, right? And she fears Sauron more than whatever the cost of victory is the summation of that discussion there. And
Everything we stand to lose.
one day Celebrimbor's life will be in my hands, Papa said. Whatever that's about.
What a weird thing for your dad to say one day. Like, hey, Elrond, come here.
You know Lord Celebrimbor?
Yeah, I just get this weird feeling that his life one day is going to be in your hands.
Okay, Papa.
All right, well, now do your chores.
I'll be back. I'm going to go get some cigarettes.
He's never seen nor heard from again. Elven Siggies.
And she has a vision of the nastiness of the future. And it's almost like that scene from Terminator 2 with the chain link fence and the
Blown away.
yeah, it was like
nuclear
that
bomb.
crazy. I was like, wow. And she tells Elrond, promise me that you'll put opposing Sauron above all else, even my life. In this scene, again, it's like everything's like almost wonderful, but not quite there, the way that it's carried out. Because he goes on this, I can't do that, but sure. And I'm like, okay. And then
Defeating Sauron will come first, even before you.
yes, especially before you. I mean, lots of things do, I'll be honest.
I'm mad at you.
I'm so upset about Daymore.
And then the elves come running up
First.
and they go, we heard drums. And I thought, oh no, hippies. It's just three crunchy teens.
drums
in
are
a
brought
drum
the
set.
hacky sack.
Oh no, run. If you got to think about it, hippies would be the thing
I
that
can smell
elves,
it from here. Patchouli oil.
it would be the thing elves hate the most for sure.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they like nature, but that's just something so crunchy and pretentious about. And elves are very like pristine and
pretentious?
judgy. Yeah, they're so judgy.
Just imagine Gilgalad like in the middle of a drum circle, just slowly look around like, this is my hell.
Picture Elrond talking to somebody. He's like, your aura.
It's purple.
We have to make sure your chakras are aligned. What's your sign? Tell me your birthday. Oh. Elrond would just not be having that. You know what I mean?
Harold Elrond, where are you going, bro?
My name is not Harold. That's my title. Arondir lays down the key to Estrid's manacles as if to say, I would give it to you, but Isildur needs to weigh in, so I'm going to leave it just out of reach.
I'm going to be cryptic about it, though. You guys interpret my motives for me.
I'm pretty sure he wants you to decide.
Yeah, don't trust the person locked up. Yeah, he laid that there, I'm pretty sure.
He told me with his eyes that he wants you to let me free. He said that with his eyes.
And he wants you to give me more swamp snake. Whoa.
Whoa. Madam,
Okay.
you're betrothed to someone else, madam.
And then Isildur unlocks her, and she immediately steals his sword. Ha ha! It kind of works, though. It's touching in the fact that she's like, no, you're just going to cast me out. They always do.
Forgiveness doesn't come for folk like me.
I promise I won't let them cast you out. And then an ant fucking mollywops her.
Yeah.
She's dead.
It's so crazy.
The blunt force trauma from that. She's fucking dust.
But Arondir stops the ant, and the ant's like, hast thou ever touched an axe to wood? I'm not going to lie.
Once or twice.
I chop hella wood.
A lot.
They get really upset about the sword. There's a scene where the ant sees the sword too, and Isildur's like, it does not fell trees.
What does it fell?
What does it fell? Is that how you... I guess it's, present tense verb. It'd be funny if it was wrong, though. What does it fell did? Well, fewer.
What does it fall?
Orcs. It fells orcs, right? So, that's fine. I do like the scene with the ants. I think it works for me.
Because we get to see an ant wife.
Yeah.
Before they were lost.
They lost him.
Winter Bloom.
That's right. But even the part where it's like, forgive me, Arondir says, and she says, forgiveness takes an age.
Rain washing clear the long memory of soil. New bark covering old scars. Trees of this wood shall be left in peace.
I'm sorry I killed your friend.
I hardly know her.
These ants are so cool. Like they're one of the best parts of the whole franchise for me. And so seeing them again and seeing an ant wife gave me such warm feelings. And the fact that the one ant, what's his name, Snaggleroot, is voiced by Jim Broadbent.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like, well, I forget what episode it was. Episode 2 when one of you was like, is Jim Broadbent in this? And I had already watched ahead and I'm like, yes.
Well, I'm going to have to go back and listen again.
I didn't recognize
that.
I didn't recognize him. You'd be watching the credits or something?
Well, I wanted to see who it was. I did watch the credits because of reasons. I'm watching
Joseph
the credits.
Molly reasons.
Yeah, Joseph Molly reasons. I'm not letting that happen again this season.
I love this line because first off, they tell them that they saw an orc army go through here not too long past, but the ant wife is so upset because a lot of the trees that were cut down, she planted and raised. Those are children to her. Mm-hmm. But she's been there so long, right, that she says, when the only sound here was the light upon the moss. Oh, that's beautiful.
We tended the forest long before the mountains divided it.
That's a long time, by the way. Takes forever.
Peace is what comes after the night, and when the dawn is silent and the birds awaken. It's peace. It's good old Snaggleroot.
Not always, though. You ever done so much cocaine and you have like shit to do the next day and you just been out fucking partying? Just hella ass, right? But when you get
That's
home,
peace.
when you get home and the sun's coming up and the birds start tweeting, you're like, that's how you know you're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Like the birds is a bad sign.
no, I fucked up.
Tweet, shut up. Yeah, so not always. Maybe the ant wife just doesn't know about cocaine. That's all I'm saying.
Or Akon. That's what I was dealing with. Akon kept me up at night last night.
Yeah.
There's no context for that. I went to an Akon concert.
Did he just show up at your place?
I was asleep after the fact.
I want you guys to be clued in to Steve's humor and how delightful it is, just in case you're unaware from listening to this pod for years. So Akon, the musical artist, right? Like, wee-hoo, woo-hoo, that guy, right? Akon and Young Jeezy, that guy. Andy went to a concert last night, an Akon concert, and Steve greeted Andy with, did you have fun at the A convention? Akon. Get it?
Well,
That's funny.
Last week when Andy told me he was going to go see Akon, I was like, what's the Akon? And he's like, the musical rapper. And I legit was like, oh, I thought it was a weird convention you were going to.
Well, I said I'm going to Akon. And you were like, what is Akon?
That's so funny.
Partly my fault.
I just got caught up with it there.
Like cocaine, it kept me up at night. I was laying in bed, opened my eyes and the sun's up and I haven't been sleeping for a long time. And it was one of those like, this is not peaceful. The morning sunrise is the worst.
Yeah. So as long as you get to bed on time, I see what she's saying. Do you know the name of the ant wife?
Winterbloom.
Winterbloom and Snaggle Rock?
Snaggleroot.
Snaggleroot and Winterbloom.
Down with Snaggleroot.
Gotcha, man. Forgiveness takes an age. So I don't forgive you yet. That's what she's saying.
I loved it. I was tearing up, and like the little, she has like a little plant hand that kind of holds Arondir's hand as he.
I know she's got like that. You know how Alien has that little mouth within a mouth?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me. Because like, unless
within
that
a
was her
hand?
dick. Because it was like she already had the 2 giant arms, and then this thing comes out. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You see Arondir's face like,
It's all sappy. Which,
Is this gonna go Evil Dead?
nothing stickier than sap.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. That is true.
But he gets them to release all the hostages, including Theo.
Yeah, he gets Theo and the wild men, and he's like having a good time with Estrid, and they're about to have a moment. They're about to kiss, but her betrothed is like the head of the Hell's Angels.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hagen. And Hagen? And he's such a cock blocker. What a bummer, right?
Oh, I thought you were dead. Oh, I'm so glad you're alive.
Yay.
Hulk Hogan.
And Theo actually thanks Arondir. We get some good Theo moments.
yeah.
But he's like, hey, you can come with me. And Theo says, I have promises of my own to keep.
Are we writing him out of the show?
I wish, but I doubt it. Do you know what promises he's made?
No.
I thought he was going to say the village needs a healer.
Maybe.
That's probably what it is, right?
Okay.
It's probably just like Theo needs to be the village healer.
I think they just wrote him out.
Oh, because Bronwyn's
Yeah.
quote unquote dead.
Why the fuck do we need him?
She's verifiably dead.
I know. I like how I didn't believe it. Oh, she's dead.
They had a funeral pyre.
Kid's very
They
much
set
in
her
the,
body on fire.
you're very much in the denial stage at this point.
I miss Bronwyn.
Maybe the promise is, Theo's taking care of Peligir, because I think doesn't Arondir call him the Lord of Peligir?
He does.
Because I wrote the note like, is he a lord? Like what is
That's the same thing as being the healer of Peligir.
is it?
He's taking care of it.
Okay, well, because Bronwyn seemed to be the leader of the community at the end of season 1.
He's gonna go back and show him
So
his
maybe-
arm marks and be like, "Look, I've been shooting dope with the trees.
Look at my track marks.
You should listen to me." And they're like, "Okay." And then the orcs are marching on Eregion with Damrod, which, by the way, he can't be out in sunlight. Where does he go? They cover him with a blankie. We need a big blankie for Damrod.
Get Blanky's damn rod.
Cover the rod with the blankie.
Do it.
The elves see them and they're like, "Oh shit!" Right? But
They're headed towards Eregion.
the orcs are just shooting arrows at this horse, because at first the elves are like, they spotted us because an arrow flies at them, but they're just trying to shoot this horse. Goddamn four legs.
4 legs.
Yeah, we're just playing a funny game. But fucking Frank got hit with this random stray arrow. Camnir.
Catching strays.
Yeah, he literally caught a stray.
Literal stray has been caughteth.
Oh no, that guy.
And then the ring heals him. She tries to staunch the blood flow.
It's a dyad in the force.
One of the elves, when he gets, is like, amazing.
I think that's Vorahil.
Wow.
You did that with a ring.
Stupendous.
It's like
Shut that down.
Benicio del Toro in Avengers. Magnificent.
Yeah. Okay. And she bids Elrond get to Lindon, and she gives him the ring. I'll hold them off. I am Galadriel the baddie.
And it's time to be batty.
That's goddamn right. And then Galadriel draws her blade, turns around at the orcs and goes, "What's up, whores?" And wrecks house. Kills a bunch of the motherfuckers. And the other elves tell Elrond, "Oh, she sacrificed herself to save us all." And he says, "She did it to save the ring."
Not us. So unthankful.
How do you read this? Do you read this as like his insight, or as him being petty and not, Do you think that that's how?
I mean, she literally takes off the ring, hands it to him, and says, "Take it and go." So I think he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's also right. But
The sea is always right. I know that.
And don't wander off the trail.
Never walk alone, which is what she's doing. So that's a bad thing.
And she went off that trail.
I think it could be both.
I think, it
Because-
can always be both, yeah.
Once the ring is off, theoretically you should be divorced from the ring's influence, which is in twice in this show. It shows to be not the case, both with Durin the Third.
Well, I mean, Frodo in the original trilogy doesn't necessarily wear the ring.
He wears it around his neck, though.
It'd be touching. It'd be touching.
It did be touching.
And Bilbo, even when he doesn't have it on, wants it.
Yeah.
But when it's like far away from him.
But yeah, Galadriel like wrecks shop on these orcs. Like
She
I love
does.
she does
Oh,
the
it's
classic.
so cool.
She does the classic video game thing where she picks up an explosive device, throws it in the air, and shoots it in the air.
Twice.
Dude, she does all kinds of things. She starts it out with throwing knives, right? And then
Didn't
she
even
like,
know she had those.
right? And then she sweeps orc's legs out from under him and then uses the torch she was holding that's fallen through the air to light the tips of her arrows on fire and then shoot those fucking guys. Then she busts out some chains and starts swinging those motherfuckers around.
Yeah, the
and then
barrel-like
she does
chains.
the shoot the lantern to explode the fire rain.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, she does a lot in a little bit of time and it's pretty fucking cool.
These are elven lands.
Right before she wrecks shop with
She's
the orcs,
racist.
the one orc that's talking to her has the most specific thing I've ever seen in Lord of the Rings, where he's like, "Cut off her right thumb." Why the right thumb specifically, my guy?
He wants it.
I'm collecting them. I already have a
The
left
other
one.
orcs are like, oh fuck, here we go again.
Oh,
Every time.
he's all thumbs, that one.
Girth strong with his fucking thumb thing.
Damn, Girthstrong. That is definitely my name.
Everyone knows about Girthstrom loving thumbs. Girthstrom wants some thumb.
But she's about to get got, and she draws her fire arrows again.
Back to the shadow.
And Adar grabs the fire of the arrows, putting them out, and says, "A star shines on our meeting, Lady Galadriel." But in Elvish. And then my next note is, what the fuck is this song? And that is the end of episode 4. It's time for our Old Tobeys, our finest moments in the South Farthing, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Andy, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is that scene that we just described, the badass fight with Galadriel there at the end and all of her various weapons. It felt very video gamey, but in an awesome way. Love a good action scene.
That's my number 3 as well, for the exact same reason. It's just fun, good action. Just seeing her wreck shop is always a good time. Like, they always have some really good choreography and interesting things for her to do whenever she has a fight scene. So it's good to see.
My number 3 is the moment between the Gund and Nori, where we learned the Burrows lore, and Nori cries and says,
You just love watching Nori cry.
Nori, I've fallen in love with this season. I really liked Nori last time, but I just think her performances are, because it was kind of like, this is the Frodo.
Yeah.
You know, the Hobbit who doesn't like Hobbit life, who wants to go on adventures, you know. And now there's so much to the character that I really appreciate it. And she always crushes it. But this was like, even though it was kind of silly, like, info dump out of nowhere, but
Yeah.
it hit me though, the fact when she, just because her performance is so good, you know. We don't have a home.
I assume the
We never found it.
the Suzat that the original Barrow was looking for was going to end up being the Shire.
It translates to Shire, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it's like
I thought it was like a Giat.
a Giat.
Yeah, they were
Come
just
again?
looking for a real.
You said
A
that
little
and
Riz.
ended your sentence as if we're like, a Giat.
I thought you would laugh.
It's
because you know what
a kid's term, I think.
it means, like a fat ass, like a Giat.
Oh.
A Giat. You don't know about a Giat?
We call that a dumpy.
We did. In our day, it was a dumpy.
A donk.
Dump truck. A donk. A badonk. A donk. A Giat.
Why do they keep changing these things?
Sazat. I thought it was another form of that.
I can't wait in 50 years when kids are like, damn, look at the pachoop choop on that.
The choop choop.
Like we got a big pachoop choop.
Giat's pretty handy though, because it's like,
Goddamn.
if there's like a video of a lady with a really nice ass playing ping pong, you know, the comments will be like, I got to play this game. You know, it's just like, it's versatile. It's versatile.
Choop.
Choop, choop. Good thing Steve doesn't invent slang. Anyway, that's my number 3. Andy, you're number 2.
Let's see. My number 2 is the scene with the Ents. It was awesome to get the lady Ent, the Ent wife, and she just spit poetry.
Her name is
Winterbloom.
Winterfell.
I was just hyped. I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." The Ent wives have petals.
Yeah,
That
what
was
a cool design choice.
Such a cool choice, and
that's what lets Arondir know that the Ents are near because he sees the petals lying around everywhere.
yeah. But yeah,
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
she's spitting poetry, and she, it's just great writing, and it was a fun, nostalgic moment.
My number 2 moment is Tommy Bahama. Just that scene with him talking to the stranger, pretty much from the time it's when they're around the fireplace and he's like sneezing and he's talking about how old Tom's pretty old. Like,
I am eldest.
I'm eldest. I just really like that they're finally bringing Tom Bombadil into the story, and he kind of lives up to the hype. And I love how frank he is, and just the fact
He's Tom, really.
Yeah, he's Tom. And I love the you've totally ruined it by calling him Forrest
sorry.
Gump wisdom.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say you've totally ruined it. Honestly, if I'm being honest, you've made it 1,000 times better.
Oh yeah.
Because now
honestly.
anytime Tom Bombadil's on screen and says anything, I'm picturing Forrest Gump saying it, and that makes it better.
I'm sure my Gump impression will be back. My number 2 is the fight with Galadriel at the end. I do love, Galadi Batty is my fave, and I wish we got more of that action.
Action.
I'm not normally like the stab guy.
Yeah.
But in this case, this show could use a lot more. Ching ching.
Ooh, look out, Andy. Andy, look out.
I'm sword fighting.
Andy, take cover.
Whoa, look out, Andy. Andy, your favorite moment of episode 4.
My favorite moment's Tom Bombadil.
Tommy Bahama.
It was just something that I've been looking forward to seeing on screen for a very long time, and it lived up to the hype. Great Forrest Gump wisdom. Super loved the just prophetic way that he talks, and like just the line "I am eldest." Even that, I was like, "Oh fuck, that's cool." You know what I mean? So like, it just tickled like the 13-year-old nerd that like stumbled his way through the Lord of the Rings books and understood maybe a tenth of it. Like tickled that in a way that I haven't gotten really from the show very much. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, yeah, fucking wizards are sweet. You know what I mean? Like
Wizards are cool.
there's a reason that I used to buy all these swords and stuff. I had a gauntlet that was awesome. You know what I mean? Like it just tickled that part of my personality that is, I'm 25 years removed from. So it's kind of fun to have that feeling.
You're not even 25 minutes removed from, sir. Don't even pretend.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a wizard. My number 1 is Arondir and the Ents. Everything that Andy said before. I love Ents. I love finally getting to see an Ent wife in this world, and it didn't disappoint. And I found myself like strangely emotional, like when she's like, forgiveness takes an age. Like, again, whoever wrote the show definitely has a healthy relationship with a therapist, because they're dropping off some great, bits of wisdom in the show. And Whizbits. And I mean, it's Jim fucking Broadbent as Snaggleroot. Olivia Williams as Winterbloom. It's just like, my eyes were welling up in the scene because it was just beautiful and sad. And I just loved it. That's my favorite scene of the whole episode. And by proxy, it made me like interested in Arondir again. Because I'll be honest, I was a little bored of him. Starting like late season 1 up to now. But now I'm like, oh, Arondir's dope. He's dope again. He's cool. He talks to them trees, baby. What about you, Kit? What's your number 1?
That's my number 1 as well. I wish I cared more about Tom Bombadil, and I know people aren't going to like this, but I didn't. What? I was like,
There he is.
there he is.
Check.
Pretty sure that beard's fake. And he's gone. You know what's cemented that I fucking don't care? The song at the end.
Oh, no. They lost you with the song.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. What the fuck? Yeah. But the ends were great. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Wish they talked slower.
Yeah, they are a little more
A little bit
fast-paced.
slower. I get it. They're, and they're in a hurry.
They were talking pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, for ants. But
Have you guys seen the orcs with her here?
It was a
Tasty.
coked up ant.
All right, guys, they're being led by Damron.
I'm gonna put cocaine in your house.
There's no context.
I know, I love it.
Anyway, that's my old Tobeys. That brings us to our second breakfast.
Second break.
Some Easter eggs, some behind the scenes bits and whatnots. Andy, you got any?
Let's see here. Galadriel tells the orcs to go back to the shadow.
Go back to the shadow.
That's Gandalf's line. That's one of those little nods that you're talking about where like
So
they
many.
can't do it, but they did it.
They did it.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think they do have the Lord of the Rings rights. They don't have the Silmarillion. Right?
Is that what it is? I don't understand the
No,
rights
they can
situation.
reference the Peter Jackson movies all they want.
And we get the song that the Barrow-wights are singing. It's that's also ties into it's in the books. And I think that the version that they do in this show is more true to the books, but it's also in the movies. The Colby Heart and Hand and Stone and Colby Gollum says Colby travelers far from home. It's like
That is the thing the Gollum says.
Colby Heart and Hand and and that's when like I think Faramir is like coming up on him when he's like he's playing with a fish there. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember where it is when. It's when Frodo confronts him and calls him Smeagol. Then he's like freaking out and he starts saying that "Go behind him" and whatever. But anyway, it was
Colby
a fun
sleep
little.
under stone.
It was
Nevermore
a-
to wake in stony bed, never till the sun fails and the moon is dead. In the black wind, the stars shall die.
That's not what Gollum says. Gollum says something totally different.
Yeah, he says
Colby Heart and
he
Hand
says
and
the
Stone,
first
Colby
part.
far from home. They do not see what lies ahead when sun has failed and moon is dead or something.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Anyway, yeah, just a neat little tie in to the movies.
Very cool. Gollum's so cute.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And he's playing with the fish.
He's like that ugly dog a lot of people would have in LA, you know? Yeah.
He's so good. I love him. Tom Bombadil says to Old Man Ironwood, eat earth, dig deep, drink water. And that is something that Treebeard says to Old Man Willow in, I believe, the Two Towers movies. But it's kind of a circular thing because...
In the extended versions, I'm sure.
In the extended versions, yes. Because I don't think Merry and Pippin get sucked into a tree in the theatrical cut. But it's actually a full circle moment because the whole line, eat earth, dig deep, drink water, that is a Tom Bombadil line from the books, but Peter Jackson and company wrote it in for Treebeard in the movie to reference Tom Bombadil because they knew people were upset that Tom Bombadil wasn't in those movies.
I name a Tom.
So it was a nice little Easter egg for Tom. So this whole line has gone full circle, and finally we get
Back
to
to
see Tommy Bahama saying his own line in the movie, which is kind of cool. And then Old Man Willow, Old Man Ironwood. There you go.
Do you think he's been like watching The Stranger?
Who, Tom?
Yeah.
Just like from afar or just...
Yeah, like as he came up and so you knew he was coming.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got like his own version of Palantir, maybe.
So he's a peeping Tom.
Old peeping Tom.
I led it too far. It wasn't as good.
That's all.
worth-
That's all I have for second.
I don't have
breakfast.
much. I did want to talk about the Barrow Downs a bit. That's a very famous place that's really cool to reference.
Barrow Down.
I thought it was a place other than it was, I'll be honest. But they do go there in the Lord of the Rings books because it's like treeless hills just east of the Shire. So they get there pretty early on in their journey, right behind the old forest. It's southwest of Bree, if you will. Anyway,
Buckleberry Ferry.
I do think
Yeah, they get stuck and Tom Bombadil shows up and saves them.
he does. He does. I thought it was like where they found Glamdring and the Hobbit and stuff, and I don't think it is. But initially, that's what I had thought, but it is not. And Tom Bombadil himself. Do you guys want to talk about who this motherfucker is? I mean,
Sure.
I mean, he's just like an ancient being. He's been around since before like fucking everything.
yeah, he dwells in the Third Age, like when we see him in the books, in the Valley of the Withywindle.
That sounds like a fun place.
The Withywindle, east of Buckland. And they kind of just hang out there. He's kind of like an Airbnb or bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
That's his main function, I feel like.
There's only 3 rules in this house.
Yeah.
Clean up after yourself. Don't turn the lights off when you leave.
And that's what that's an actual line that Tom says in The Lord of the Rings. Eldest, that's what I am. That Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He knew the dark under the stars when it was fearless, before the Dark Lord came from the outside. That's a line of Tom from the book. The origin and nature of Tom Bombadil are completely unknown. Basically, he claims to have already existed before the Dark Lord came. So he might have been alive even before the Valar. He's just like, what annoys me about a character like that, so amorphous and undefined and obviously powerful, that chooses not to help, pisses me off. You know? Yeah. Oh, I was here before the first raindrop. Some might say I could snap my fingers and fart and blow all the bad things away. But what's the fun in that?
I'm retired.
Well, if you've been around that long, you've seen it all come and go.
I don't really care.
A billion times.
Yeah.
You know, I read this book series by Brandon Sanderson called the Cosmere books, and there's a character named Hoyd that appears in all of his books in some form or another. Like, he has different names. And this Cosmere takes place in different galaxies in one giant universe. And this character is like a Tom Bombadil, where he's like eternal and like shows up in this world. And now he's in this other galaxy over here meeting these people. And he's a wanderer. You know what I mean? He basically does the exact same thing that Tom Bombadil does. And it's just awesome to conceptualize a eternal being that the plight of man and even gods to him is still just like nothing. Because like that's what the Valar to these people, those are gods. But like the Valar to Tom Bombadil are probably just as nothing as the humans are.
This month, Tenet.
Yeah, exactly. And I just I love the idea of a character like that.
Yeah, he's just this like disinvolved guy, and it is fascinating for sure. Like, there's a quote from Elrond in the Fellowship of the Ring book where he says, "But I had forgotten Bombadil. If indeed this is still the same that walked the woods and hills long ago, and even then was older than the old. That was not then his name. Irwain bin Adar, we called him, oldest and fatherless." So Adar, father, we knew that word. "But many another name has been since given by other folk, Forn by the dwarves, Orld by the northern men, and other names beside. He is a strange creature." You know, and Elrond's like 4,000 years old, and he's like, that old fuck. You know what I mean? It's my brain can't process it, I guess. You know, it's just crazy. So anyway, Tom Bombadil, legendary figure, finally gets his live action appearance. There's that. That's it. That's all I got. It's time for our one performance to rule them all, and then we'll fuck off. Andy, who are you going to give it to?
I am going to give it to... I actually didn't look up the actor's name. Tom Bombadil.
Tommy Bombi.
Bombadil.
Tommy Bahama.
It's... Oh, of course it doesn't fucking show up. Rory Kinnear. Yeah, just for all the reasons I said before, having a character that I've known and been curious about on the screen for a long time, have him finally show up and drop us some Gump wisdom. You know?
Yes.
Loved it. Loved it.
Who are you giving it to, Steve?
I'm giving it to, and I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I'm giving it to Olivia Williams, who voices Winterbloom. Only because that line delivery just really got to me in what I think is like maybe the most beautiful scene in this whole series so far. Like, I just love Winterbloom.
I love you
so much, and I love Lamp.
You love me.
Winterbloom's a great choice. It's not cheating.
Who are you picking then?
I think she's barely in it, and it's such a small moment, but I'm going to give it to Markella Cavanaugh, who plays Nori. I really just don't know how many more chances I'll get. I know she's a prominent character, but like there's so many good storylines with like some really dramatic stuff going on, but just props to Nori. Just consistently awesome, intriguing. Markella Cavanaugh. That's who I'm giving it to.
Love it.
If you guys are fans of fantasy and you want to support the show, and you can, we do Game of Thrones coverage every Wednesday on the Patreon only at patreon.com/streaming things. There's also at least 2 other episodes per month, so 6 minimum per month that are only on Patreon. You also get ad-free episodes, voting in polls, all kinds of stuff, early access to live show tickets and merch and all that stuff. Remember that the live show is on October 5th of this year. Book your tickets now. We still have some available.
Do it.
Cincinnati, Ohio at the Woodward Theater.
Do it.
It'll be like a 3-hour extravaganza with all the stream fiends and us, of course.
It's going to be so fun.
If you can't support the show financially, we totally understand. We wouldn't want you to put yourselves in a weird spot. So you could just rate and review the show wherever you're listening to this. That's extremely helpful. Share it on the social feeds or tell your friends about it, or do none of that. Just we're glad you're here at all. I hope your life's going great. We love you very much.
We are Gondor calling for aid. Will Rohan answer?
You are Rohan. By the way, we also want to know where you were when the Westfold fell.
Yeah, where were you? This is serious.
So email us at streamingthingspod@gmail.com and let us know. But that's all the time we've got for right now. We've got to return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming the Rings of Power.
Happy streaming.